technical difficulties. Hello, hi everyone, which is from the moon. I did not mean to press record, but you know what? I'm just gonna go with it. Hi, hope you're all doing well. It is Jess Spellbound here. Welcome back to season 13, week 4. I think we're in week 4, of Witches of the Moon. Sorry, it's chilly in here, believe it or not. I got everything going, fans, air conditioning, so it is a little bit cold. And I've lost the best light of the day, so we're just gonna go with it. So this week we are talking about timing, spell timing. This is interesting every week, right? This is an interesting topic. Everybody looks at this this is, my daughter put chapstick all over me, so that's what it washed out looking like. We're talking about timing of spells and, I guess our opinions on using it and deciding it, figuring it out. That's how I interpret the timing of a spell. I'm really, really a big believer of, kind of figuring out what works for you, because I think what works for other people isn't going to always work for you. I do think that using the information we've already been given by people who have been doing this a long time is valid, and I'm not trying to discredit that at all. What I am saying is that when it comes to the timing of a spell, you know what? It can go both ways. I'm just gonna retract what I was about to say. I use timing of my spells, but I use it astrologically, right? Which is most of it. The timing of a spell can go by the hour, by the planet. What's in retrograde? There are 1,000 ways to do your timing of a spell. Just by the moon, by the sun, by the day of the week. There are a million ways you can go about doing it. So for me, I use the moon and the planetary systems. I don't typically use the day of the week. You can. It's personal. It's a decision up to you. For me, the day of the week is I don't. If I want to work with a planet, I don't want to work with the day that's ruled by a certain planet. That was, I want it when a certain planet is in sphere of what's going on, of what's working cosmically at that moment. Sorry, my dog took something. And I also think that working with the moon phase is really important as well. And I think it's really important to be open to how the moon makes you feel, the ebb and flow of how the moon makes you feel. So, you know what? On a full moon, it might be too much energy for you. Maybe you feel a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit drained because of that energy pull that's happening. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to do a full moon spell on a day that you feel is the best timing for you. I think we get into sticky territory. I'm getting into sticky territory. Because while I do believe that I do believe that some things should be taught, I also think that some things should be intuitively done as well. Know your moon phases, know what they stand for, and then pay attention to how they make you feel and go from there. It's the same thing like with herbs and all kinds of stuff. Know the meanings, know what they're good for, but also use them in a way that feels correct for you, as long as it's not, whatever. So I think that really having a good understanding of at what time makes you feel really good. What time of the day, if you wanted to go by the day and the timing of the sun and where the sun is at that time, maybe then say, oh, you know what? for some reason at 3 o'clock, I really get an energy boost. Check out what planets were aligned where at 3 o'clock on that day. Maybe those are the ones that you should be working with a little bit more. So I think timing is all really up to you. And some people, and depending on the spell work, I do too. I think I look at timing as an ingredient. You know, if like that's just something that has to happen to make this ritual, to make this spell work to its fullest extent. And then there are other times where it does not bother me when a spell is done, because it's I don't need that particular ingredient that day. So I think, pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to when you feel good, when you feel bad, where the moon is, where the sun is. I think that those are working off of the moon and the sun, and maybe even the zodiac of like if the moon is in Scorpio, how does that make you feel? If the moon is in Pisces, how does that make you feel? If the moon is in Aries, again, how does that make you feel? And then if you can track those things, if you can look at it and go, you know what? When the moon was in Aries, I was feeling a little rough. So maybe if you need to do some work, wait until the moon is in Aries. If you can wait that long. If you can't, fine. Look for where Mars is at. So I think that it, do your research, but don't feel like you have to be stuck to that, because you're not. Your body is reacting to things the way it's supposed to. Your body reacts to certain timings the way it is supposed to. And it is okay if a Facebook page is reacting different. It's okay if people on a moon page are reacting differently. It's okay if a book is saying, no, this is the way you should be feeling. Nobody can tell you your intuition. Nobody can tell you how your signs interact with another sign. Like those things are personal. And while yes, sometimes, we can go, oh yeah, that's a total Capricorn move, or oh yeah, that's a total, but sometimes I don't feel like that. Sometimes my feelings don't align with what they say. So, it's okay to go, meh, you know what? Full moon is exhausting for me. Straight up exhausting. I do not feel like dancing under a full moon. It is overwhelming and tiring for me. It does not give me a boost of anything. So for me, I do my full moon typically different than others. Same thing with the dark moon. I really love working with the dark moon. For me, that is a time of contemplation, of shadow work, of I use that dark moon much more than I use a full moon typically. I use dark moon water instead of full moon water, because those are the energies that I tend to sit in, and where I need that little extra boost of time. So really, it's all up to you, the timing. Like I said, learn. Sure, absolutely. Know what full moon, when, means where. Write it down in your book of shadows. Write it down somewhere you can just grab it and go, because, every book says, every book has its own place for it. So if you write it in your own, fabulous. You grab it and you go. If you want to do something by the day of the week, awesome. But I would track how you feel. Track what makes you feel what. What makes you feel what? Sorry, it is long day. But that would be my advice, is really pay attention to how you feel. Always learn as much as you can, and then also learn about yourself in the process. All right, you guys, I'm out. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see all of you lovelies next week. All right, blessed be.